Some call it Tampa, kings and queens. Some of them call it the weed. Some call it marijuana. And some of them will call it ganja. Never mind, kings and queens, the legalization of all herbs. No codex around here. We burn codex around here, kings and queens. Today our subject is, can ganja bring self-sufficiency to Jamaica? Once again, the all-important interactive line is 0207-193-0174. Log that number, kings and queens. Listen in, get all your questions and comments in once we open up those lines. But you can text us all throughout the show on 07377-920-703. And kings and queens, do check out alkebalan.org for the full show spec. Just click on the Afrika Speaks of Alkebalan tab. Yes, indeed, kings and queens, for our full show spec. You're going to get an abbreviated version of our show spec in a second. But we have the full show information complete with bibliography and links for your further research, kings and queens, as dutifully put together by our producer brother Olatunji Heru. This is a beautiful resource in our community, and we encourage you to use it as well as to leave comments. Yes, indeed, you can leave a comment under the show page, kings and queens, at alkebalan.org/Afrika Speaks with Alkebalan. And without further ado, let me hand over to brother Omowale Kwao to introduce our show. Tenamwale.
Tenamwale Shakara. Tenamwale, brothers and sisters. London-based activist and broadcaster Sister Shanice has started a petition urging the Jamaican government to legislate to reap the cultural, medicinal and economic benefits of ganja. Due in no small part to the influence of Rastafari, the island has a long-standing association with the herb, and the Jamaican strains are widely regarded as the world's best. The main challenge for the Jamaican government is whether it can free itself from the clutches of the global imperialist institutions that have helped impoverish it for decades. The potential for a share of the $50 billion economy is in the offing if the island makes the right moves. Some are concerned that too long a delay could see the island missing out. Several US states have already legislated and are already reaping the benefits in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Indeed, the Bob Marley strain is working with the Bob Marley family is working with the US partners to develop ganja strains. Although this has chagrined some that say the deal is exploiting Jamaican culture while not benefiting the island. Jamaican government reluctance may also be related to health fears about ganja. However, the Antiguan Prime Minister, whose island has just decriminalized assets that anti-ganja legislation were racist and in place to the political and economic interests of the global powers. If the related hemp plant with its numerous industrial uses is also developed, a strong regional bloc could be on the horizon. Moreover, with Zimbabwe also making move to legislate, a Pan-African industrial and cultural network may be more than just the stuff of dreams. So, brothers and sisters, this evening we ask the question, can ganja bring self-sufficiency to Jamaica? Have you signed the petition? Will the international institutions like the IMF, the UN, and USA try to prevent Jamaica from capitalizing on ganja? Is ganja really safe enough to be legislated? Is it really too little too late for Jamaica's entry into the legal ganja market? Have the Marley Estate undermined the potential of Jamaica's ganja industry? Was previous ganja legislation racist, serving the interests of the global powers? Is a Caribbean-wide strategy to legalize and develop ganja and health products feasible? Brothers and sisters, we're blessed to have with us, we're blessed to be joined this evening, as Brother Shakara has said, none other than Sister Shanice Lindsay, who is the manager of the Starlight Music Academy and Starlight Global, an African investment and tour company. She has over 30 years experience in a professional capacity in the public and private charity sectors. She is also an independent filmmaker and hosts the African Empowerment Zone every Wednesday, and I'm sure the listeners would know, every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Galaxy 102.5 FM. We're also blessed to be joined from Jamaica, Ras Ho-Shing, who is based in Jamaica and is the international spokesperson for the Ancient Order of Rastafari, an executive member of the Ethiopian World Federation Charter 43. In addition to his affiliation to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, Ras Ho-Shing is also on the National Council for Reparations in Jamaica. Tendai Mwari, and good evening to Sisters Shanice and Ras Ho-Shing. Welcome to Afrika Speaks with Al-Kebulan.
Tendai Mwari, it's an honor and a privilege. Thank you so much, my brothers.
It is indeed our pleasure. Is Ras Ho-Shing with us from Jamaica? Okay, we're getting a little noise. We're gonna sort out the technical side of things. But before, right, but while we're working on Ras Ho-Shing, let's start with our dear Sister Shanice. Sister Shanice, you have decided to set up this petition about this particular ganja. Can you explain to our listeners why?
Okay, yes, let me explain how it came about. Now, Ras Ho-Shing has been a regular spokesperson on my show for some time, and he's been making us aware of the challenges and the difficulties that small farmers in Jamaica have been experiencing trying to access this market. Now, you know, as we all know, and as you said in your introduction as well, you know, ganja has been, you know, such an important part of the culture and the sacramental, you know, way of life of the Rastafari community, and they have, you know, been penalized and criminalized and treated in the most awful way over this really important herb. And now the world has woken up to its potency and its medicinal benefits and realized the huge financial gains that can come from it. What's happening is, as you've mentioned in your introduction, is that, you know, the big guys are coming in and taking advantage of it, such as the Marley brothers with, you know, the US company, that private equity firm that is in the business, and capitalizing on the Rastafari culture, whilst at the same time, you know, setting the bar so high, it's preventing small farmers from accessing the industry. So our listeners have been, you know, right behind it. The daytime listeners have been right behind this initiative, and you know, following a series of discussions, we agreed that we would support the small farmers in Jamaica and that we would put this petition together. So we had, you know, RMU, the Rastafari community here in the UK, and we had our sister Aisha, we had our sister Juliet, and we had various other organizations that were involved in the drafting of this petition. And, you know, I put myself forward to, you know, put the petition out there on behalf of the group, and here we are. So far, we've got just over 700 signatures. We launched it not Saturday, but on the Saturday before. So almost 100 signatures a day. But we need to keep the momentum going. And the listeners, if you haven't already signed the petition, please do go to change.org and just search for Jamaica Ganja or Jamaica Ganja's Industry, and the petition will come up. It's the second one. Please sign it and share the link. Share. We want to support the small farmers in Jamaica. We need the government to introduce the wider legalization of ganja in Jamaica, because, you know, we firmly believe that it can significantly contribute towards the economic situation in Jamaica. It'll create jobs, opportunities. It'll bring in huge amounts of tax for the government, so they can improve their hospitals, their public services, their roads, you know, their infrastructure. There's such a need for this finance in Jamaica, and they are dragging their feet.
Tell them, Morris. Give thanks for the answer, Sister Shanice. Right, we're just going to double check now. Ras Ho-Shing, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you, my beloved brother and sister.
Right, Rastafari, greetings, my brother, and thank you for joining us on Afrika Speaks with our Kebulan.
Greetings.
Perfect love, blessed love, Sister Shanice. And before we can go further, I'd like to say, in the presence of the Supreme Creator of heaven and earth, blessed greetings to the African family at home and abroad, the incarnated spirit of the Creator, the incarnated knowledge reside within the African. We are once again going to rise that nation. Marcus Messiah Garvey has told us, rise up, you mighty race.
That's right.
And we are now in that position to do exactly what needs to be done for the interests of the Africans, both at home and abroad.
Rastafari.
So blessed greetings to you, my brother and sister.
Greetings.
From sunny Jamaica land.
Greetings to you too.
All right, my Ras Ho-Shing, greetings and welcome. You know what? Let's just dispel a myth right now, yeah? Because our show today is can ganja bring self-sufficiency?
Sorry, Brother Shakara. For just on the petition, Sister Shanice. I just first of all I want to say Makoto Koto to all the organizations who got involved in putting this particular piece of work together. And I just wanted to ascertain, why is it so important that we, Africans in the UK, get on board with this petition?
Mm-hmm.
Why
my
is
beloved brother, as you know, the hemp, the mulberry tree that is mentioned in the Bible, that create this wonderful medicinal benefit for humanity, that has now become the common reality amongst all nations. And because our ganja is proven to be the very best, both in medicinal and both in recreation, nutraceutical, anything to do with the body, the health-wise, the ganja of Jamaica, our particular strain of this wonderful plant that is known to the world as ganja, we have everything in this plant here. So it is very important that we have a petition, because right now, as you know, there is the Cannabis Licensing Authority that is being created by those that came from America, right, with those who is here regarding themselves to be the plantocracy. And as you know, cannabis is being grown in England for over 40 years. So that means that the word cannabis, where they want to say it derived from the word Latin. We are not Latin, we are African.
All right.
So we are not into the cannabis. And cannabis, you'll find, is chemical, genetically modified.
That's correct.
Plants that they've been growing in Europe and North America. What we have here is ganja, which is organic. And the method of growing this plant here, our natural environment, is what grows our plant. Right? The method of it is also very spiritual, because this plant takes on the personality of the person who grows it. So we have a wonderful plant, a wonderful opportunity, not only to create the health of our nation, but we will also create the wealth, because this plant, the oil alone, is worth from $50 to $150 per gram, depending on the purity and the method that it's been grown. We know that England has had this plant. She has been genetically modifying it, trying to duplicate what we've had here in Jamaica, because we must remind the world that it was Jamaica's scientist, Dr. Lockhart and his team, that first brought the first revelation regarding the medicinal uses of the ganja plant that we have here in Jamaica, which is called marijuana in Mexico, reefer in different areas of America, cannabis, but we have ganja, and we have to protect that name because we do not want our organic medicinal plant to be mixed up or to misguided by other people who think that cannabis has any medicinal benefit. It does not.
Right.
And any other strains of ganja that is grown over the planet, whether it's in Africa, we already know the quality of all the strains, and we always knew that Jamaica always grew the better, more superior medicinal strain that we have here, which is the indica and the sativa.
All right.
One grows 6 monthly, and one comes in 9 monthly.
Okay. But
and between the indica and the sativa, my brother, that is what we were able to crossbreed organically, that created the sensimina, the cushion pain. All these names are intellectual property names of Jamaica.
All right.
And we want to keep all our names, including Ganja.
Right, okay. Okay, right.
Well, pass the cushion pain.
Yes.
Pass it over.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
And one of the reasons why we're launching the
UK
petition here, why
ahead.
we're launching it here from the UK, is because, you know, we've been led to understand that the diaspora, the Jamaican diaspora here, actually has a lot of influence in Jamaica, and we're more likely to be able to influence the Jamaican government to make the moves that it needs to towards legalizing medicinal or recreational ganja in Jamaica than the Jamaicans themselves where they are, because the diaspora actually contributes, you know, significantly towards the remittance income that Jamaica actually receives. It makes up a large percentage of the Jamaican income. So we're using our muscle here.
Absolutely.
And the influence that we have to support the small farmers, and in so doing help to push Jamaica towards joining the other countries like the UK, the state of Colorado in America, that earns, you know, almost $1 billion now a year from recreational and medicinal marijuana.
Right.
So
well, that's
Jamaica
the message.
needs to get on board.
Right. Well, that's the message I wanted to get across to our brothers and sisters in the UK strategically, because of all the points that you mentioned in terms of remittances, etc. Africans in the UK, whether you're from Jamaica or not, it really doesn't matter. Africans from the UK need to get on board and sign that petition. That's if we don't get anything across this evening, we want to get that over again. And before I bring in Brother Shakara, can you please, my sister, just slowly repeat that the link,
web address, where they can find the petition.
Yeah, where they can find that petition.
Yeah, if the listeners, if you can go online right now, you know, we really appreciate that. Just search for, put in change.org, and once you've put in change.org, just search for Jamaica's Ganja industry, and the petition will come up. We've got 506 signatures at the moment, and by the time this show is finished, we need to get that up to
man, we have to boost it up.
We can do
Come on, brothers and sisters.
711,
this
712
is serious
now. So we want to thank those.
Come on, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving, listeners. This is serious business.
Keep it moving. Yes.
This is not joke business now.
Change.org, www.change.org, and just search for Jamaica's Ganja industry, and you will find the petition. 721. Thank you, listeners.
Keep it going, listeners.
Sign.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the target. 1,000.
Okay.
1,000 after this show, and then after SG Vibes, and another 1,000.
Yes.
SG have a whole heap of listener, you know. SG have a whole heap of listener.
And he has the vibration
and the vibes
to facilitate the
and
whole,
the good music
thing
as well.
Yes, indeed, kings and queens.
Okay.
For those who are checking out Afrika Speaks with our Kebble and Show Spec today, you will find a link to that petition in our show spec also. So if you're there already, just click that link.
Yes.
Find that link, and you'll be taken directly to the petition.
And send it out. Send it out in your WhatsApp WhatsApp.
So don't just pass the cushion peg.
Yeah, pass the
petition.
Pass the petition.
You know what I mean? As well.
My brother,
In a circle.
You know what I mean? On the
I
left
would
hand side.
like at this point, if you would allow me.
Yes, my
because
dear
you
brother.
see,
Please go
we
through.
must give the Rastafarian movement, the Rasta movement in Jamaica, that has been safeguarding not just the historical legacy of ancient Ethiopia,
All right.
but have also been safeguarding the vital organic and the protection. In fact, more Rastas has been killed, murdered, sent to prison because of Ganja.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I would like to give appreciations to the ancients of days, those who went through trials and tribulation, the mansions of Nyabingi, the mansion of the Baba Shantis, the mansion of 12 tribes, and all mansion that came out of the philosophy and teaching of His Imperial Majesty Rastafari. We would like to give them a great thank you
Certainly.
for the wonderful work that they have done within the 21st century, because without them, we wouldn't be here today
Yes, sir.
having such a discussion that is now impacting not just on the national realities,
Yes,
but
sir.
the international globe.
Yes, sir.
So we would like to big up Baba
Big them up.
Shanti,
Big them up.
Nyabingi,
Call them out. Call them out.
Tribe, all the
Call
great
them
tribes,
out. Call them out.
Rastafari.
Yes, sir.
Right.
We must not remember, and we must also remember that His Majesty sent the faith to us. So we must remember the Ethiopian Orthodox Tehido.
All right.
Faith, not a religious faith, an incarnated a faith that is a way of life, the Ethiopian way of life that shows us the truths and righteousness, the incarnated spirit that the African has within him, that we have turned to in great moments of atrocities, no more so than the 500 years of the enslavement of the African nation.
All right.
So, my beloved brother, we are ready and we are calling the family.
Right.
And I would also like to say on the 1st of August, let the 1st of August be a day where none of us go to work in no office in Babylon.
Word.
In no in Babylon. Let that be Emancipation Day for all Africans.
Word.
Both at home and abroad.
Word. My dear brother.
Let it be, my brother.
Yes.
And it can be because you want it to be.
That's right.
I want it to be. And I have two brethren right here beside me.
I can feel the spirits as well. I can feel the spirits boosting you up there as well, my brother. I can feel the spirits. Rastafari.
I'm actually broadcasting from my late kids of the Ethiopian Tehido faith, the Orthodox faith. Brother Nebuhay, that is known in the Ethiopian clergy as Waldi Raphael, the priest of the Church of Saint Raphael here in Jamaica. So I would like to make a mention of him because in the last 8 years of my work, the Church of Ethiopia in his representation has been fully with it, and it's all about African liberation. African liberation.
Words, sound,
the
and power.
Spiritual reality of the
right.
African nation.
The whole, my brother, the whole of the UK is feeling your energy and your spirit right now. You made a very interesting point about the let's call it what it is, the oppression of the Jamaican government on the Rastafari community for years, the planters and the growers of the herb. Now, my dear brother, you're probably aware of what's happening in Antigua and Barbuda, where the Prime Minister has basically said the only reason why these laws were inbuilt in the nation was because they were just racist. It had nothing to do with health or anything like that. And he has given an apology for the wickedness that's happened in Antigua and Barbuda. Would you say that would be fitting for the Jamaican government to do the same?
Well, my beloved, I very much applaud what the Bermuda government has done in the appreciation of the Rastafarian works throughout the Caribbean and their impact upon the continent. Jamaica, as you know, is where the whole philosophy and the whole energy, right, the manifestation of it came from. So Rasta, as you've been knowing, has been asking to be recognized as a religious movement, not from the incarnation of the Roman, the Grecian, of the Catholic Pope, but from Upper Kemet, because it is the Rastafarian brethren that hold on to that divinity of the ancient king of Israel, king and God, being one is in the person of His Imperial Majesty. So what will happen in Jamaica? Jamaica government will finally give the Rastafari movement the full recognition, not only because when Rasta came to us, remember, they came with one love. They spoke of the one love. They spoke of the healing of the nation. They spoke of the organic, the agricultural reality that must be a reality for our people. This was the fundamental principle of the Rastafari movement. So in Jamaica, right, I can say I've had some meetings with the certain representatives of the Jamaican government, and it seems as if finally they're going to give Rasta their full recognition that is well overdue to the Rastafari movement here in Jamaica.
All right. Well,
so
that's
we're
some good
looking
news.
forward to Prime Minister Holness because of the pressure that is happening, and obviously Ganja is becoming more the reality. They start to realizing that there's a difference between marijuana, there's a difference between cannabis and our ganja. Because everywhere this plant is grown, it takes on the natural environment, but it produces a different strain, a different variety will come from the same seed.
All right.
So we have a particular strain which is known as ganja. Which is our intellectual property. It is what grandmother used to put into the rum, and anytime we were sick, she used to give us a little drink of it. So ganja didn't. Our grandma didn't give us a split. She gave us medicinal ganja.
Yes.
Ras Ho-Shing?
And we in Jamaica. Yes, my beloved.
Greeting, my brother. I wanna ask you a question directly relating to where you're going right there. Yeah. If I got one question on the uses of ganja, and another question on the growing process and the health issue. All right. So stay tuned. But the first question, because we want to dispel a myth, because when we hear the term, legalize it and all these things, people, is in an understandable way, sometimes will reduce the whole experience and usage of marijuana, as them call it, to the smoking, and often the recreational smoking. And if they go any further than that, it's often the sacramental smoking. But we know that this plant has so many other usages. And with regards to our question today, can ganja bring self-sufficiency to Jamaica? Are you suggesting, and is the Rastafari movement suggesting, that just the mere selling and smoking of marijuana or ganja or kushumping is going to bring economic self-sufficiency to Jamaica? And if not, what other usages does it have?
No, my brother. When you smoke the ganja, you will only derive 10% of the actual economy that comes from it.
Okay.
When you extract the oil, which does not spoil, it has everlasting shelf life. Well, it's the oil that has the different medicinal, it's the oil that is used in the different pharmaceutical and the medicinal products. So what we are doing in Jamaica is concentrating on the medicinal ganja, because it will be foolish for us to send you our flower and we're only going to realize 10% of the economical benefit. When we do the oil, we're getting 100% value.
Yes,
right.
sir.
So what Jamaica, and we're very glad, because as you may not be aware, I was very much part of the decriminalization process that came in under the PNP party. We fully worked with then minister, which was Mark Golding, who was Minister of Justice. Right? And we told him then that we didn't want it to legalize simply because there's too many GM seeds that have been brought into Jamaica.
Okay.
So if you was to legalize it, and everybody will be bringing in everything. What we want to do is to protect our organic industry.
Okay.
That is why we want to get rid of the cannabis and all these seeds that is coming in currently in Jamaica. Because what's happening, because of the eradication of our wonderful plant, because of Britain wants to go cannabis in England, right? Many of the strains that is currently grown are G-modified strains. And they're actually going to be spoiling our organic strains.
And if I can interject.
And
if I can interject here as well, just to say that similarly, as we have the situation outlined by Ras Ho-Shing there, where, the ganja is being mixed with, GM produces to create the cannabis.
Yes.
Over here in the UK, we've got the weed or the ganja that's being mixed in a way with chemicals to create the skunk.
Yes.
And it's the skunk that's causing the psychotic and the other sort of problems that are often pointed to, that ganja often gets, criticized about.
Yes.
It's not the pure ganja that is causing some of the psychotic problems that we've got here, or that some of our young people or smokers here in the UK actually suffer from. And so it's really important to draw that distinction here as well when we talk about recreational marijuana, because it's the recreational side of the ganja or the marijuana that's often used as an excuse not to legalize it or not to make it more widely available.
Okay.
But the herb in its natural form, has no psychotic or other problems. It just has medicinal benefits.
All right.
And there's been a whole heap of scientific reports to talk about the benefits of even smoking cannabis.
Yes.
And if they go to the petition on change.org, there is a link to a scientific report that has been done. And there's also a quote from a cancer sufferer as well. They did some research. There's a cancer sufferer who was talking about the awful side effects of radiation and chemotherapy.
Yes.
And he found that in between those awful treatments, the only thing that could control the nausea and the sickness and everything else that they was experiencing from the chemotherapy was smoking marijuana.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and there's a link to the report in there as well.
And we give thanks. One more question on this thing, and I want to go on to what you just touched on in terms of the GM and the health deficiencies within these chemical produced marijuana. But there are so many industries. I want you to, either guest can speak to the issue of ganja being used to make paper, ganja being used to make cloth that makes clothes, ganja being used to make things like rope and them kind of things there. So when we talk about self-sufficiency and Jamaica, I mean, how deep does this go in terms of the number of industries that can come out of this particular plant?
Huge,
my beloved brother and sister, can I come in there?
We'll take Ras Ho-Shing first, and then we'll take Sister Shanice. Yeah,
you have out of this plant, you have an industrial. The male is an industrial. It is an industrial strain. Well, you can make anything that you can imagine that is industrially made, whether it's building block, whether it's metal. This industrial hemp produces all of that.
Right.
Not only that, the oil that comes from the industrial hemp is what they use to fly the planes, right?
Okay.
So what we want in Jamaica, what we have is the female, which is the medicinal, not industrial.
Right.
So Jamaica cannot grow industrial.
Okay.
We must grow in the medicinal, the female.
Point taken.
African continent and different region of the Caribbean whose land is flat. Because industrial hemp is preferably to grow on flat land. You cannot grow industrial hemp in the mountainous region.
Okay.
And you need thousands and thousands of acres of industrial hemp. But if we can produce it in Africa, like what South Africa is doing, not only will we be replacing all the fabrics and the material that you speak of naturally, and by doing that, they're all eco-friendly. Everything that will be produced in Africa will be produced from an eco-friendly plant. So,
my brother Ras Ho-Shing, I wonder if my brother Ras Ho-Shing, I wonder if you wouldn't mind mentioning here, as you did to the daytime listeners, the chemicals that are seeping into people's bodies from the produces that the Chinese are making, why it's so important for us to be moving towards the natural materials.
As you know, my beloved sister, we cannot stop the invasion of the Chinaman because our constitution, when you look at it, we haven't got no say in anything because Jamaica is still literally owned by the Queen. Our Governor General is still Lord of the land. right? And anything that's happening here, it has to go to him first. Although we have 63 members of parliament that was so-called democratically elected by less than 38% of the electoral voters. So what you can see around the world, democracy has failed humanity because less than 40% of democratical so-called societies are now electing their so-called representatives of government. So what you have in a democratical process is a minority elected government that is being elected by a minority of the so-called electoral voters. So the recent election, yes, it is.
Yeah, the point I wanted us to touch on when we were talking about chemicals is the research that was done into some of the chemicals that were being used by the Chinese manufacturers in Jamaica in the shoes and other goods that they were producing cheaply for Jamaicans that was found to be poisoning people.
Jamaica, my sister, has become a dumping land for all the Chinese, all their material, all their goods and services. Our people are finding out that when our little children wear their shoes, because of the toxic material that it's made from, they're getting slow poisoning. In everything that is produced by the Chinaman that we are being served up, as you know, he's taken over all our commercial zones, and everything that he's serving to the black man is actually slowly killing it, including plastic rice.
So for health reasons, therefore, as well, to protect the health of the nation, also another, reason why we need to be moving towards, produces that uses natural materials. And as we were saying, there is the potential maybe even for partnership between Jamaica and Africa, Jamaica and Zimbabwe, so that some of the farmers who are having difficulty maybe even growing the ganja in Jamaica until it's resolved, they could be growing the hemp in Zimbabwe. And from that, as you were saying, we can get so many produces, a whole range of industries can come out of that. And even if the produce is grown in Africa, it can be exported to Jamaica and from there, turned into the building blocks or material, rope, or the 101 other produces that can be made from it. So a whole range of industries just waiting to spring up from that one product.
So, and Sister Shanice, maybe you're kind of touching on the answer to this question, but my next question was in relation to Ras Ho-Shing. You mentioned in terms of the growing process, yes, and you mentioned the 6 months and the 9 months, yeah. And one of the problems that we're having is that in America, places like California, you have a lot of these young white boys who have big houses, who are growing, significant amounts of the herb or chemicalized versions of the herb in much shorter time periods. Yeah, you talk about 2 months, 3 months, and these kinds of things. And oftentimes the side effect chemicals are produced from that preemptive growing process. Yes. And so in terms of the supply and demand of it, is Jamaica and Africa able to really withstand that kind of discrepancy in terms of the availability and growing of the thing, as well as the different strains that America is producing versus the organic strains that come from Africa and the Caribbean? Anybody can go first.
My beloved brother, the lie that the Europeans and North Americans has been telling the world, nothing of their GM, as you know, all GM products is a destroyer of the natural environment.
That's right.
You have seen what have been done to the agricultural programs in America because of their GM crops all over. So what will happen is that the world is no longer ignorant to facts. They know that only organically grown produce, whether it's yam, banana, right, or whatever it is, in this case, ganja, right, it's only organically grown, as any medicinal benefit or any good recreational, that it doesn't send you crazy.
Yes.
So what they've been doing, they can continue swarming the market, because can't you see what is happening in Europe with the young children? What you call skunk is genetically modified cannabis. That's what you call cannabis.
Right.
That is what they've now flavoring in London with all different flavors, and all the youths think they're smoking flavors because they tell them that it looks like ganja, but it's not. And this is why this petition, because the diaspora are more sensitive to these issues than the local region. That is why we appeal to you. We came to London. It's two things we came to London for: the safety of our ganja and our organic agriculture industry, because Jamaica does not have a law against GM product being brought in. That is why one like Lasco is a major producer of GM products. They're giving our children GM powdered milk that is affecting their nature. Right? Well, this is happening now in Jamaica. And Lasco is one of the biggest producers of GM products right here. Because Jamaica hasn't got a law against GM products being brought in into the country.
That's something we're going to have to push for.
This is why we have to appeal to the diaspora, because you're more sensitive to these issues, right? This is why we told you that the Constitution must be discredited and abandoned, because I cannot see how the black man can function in any region that he's in when he hasn't got access to his own resources. Now, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And England, which is 9,000 miles away from me, is benefiting all these years from my resources.
That's right.
Yes, right, Ras Ho-Shing. Sister Shanice, you have anything to add here?
Can I just ask Sister Shanice? Sorry, Shanice.
We're up to 726.
That's what I was asking.
Who have signed the petition. So we need the listeners, maybe some have just, logged on. We need you to go to www.change.org and just search for Jamaica's ganja industry, and the petition will come up. Please sign the petition, share it via, your WhatsApp, Facebook. Please do share. We want to support the Jamaica small farmers. We want to support all of the young people in Jamaica who are unemployed, who could be getting jobs and opportunities as a result of the new industries that can spring up from around this. We want the Jamaica people to benefit from improved hospital facilities, infrastructure, and everything else that the government needs to spend its money on, because, with the extra taxes that the government could be getting from this industry, it will be able to invest that into the country, into the people, and to create more opportunities. So we need everybody to sign the petition. So please do go to change.org and search for Jamaica's ganja industry and sign the petition. Then share, please.
Sister Shanice, I can say that the petition that you sent to me, I've just signed it and I've shared it with everybody in the WhatsApp something. Right, I'm sure they got it, because I got a little email telling me that my petition has gone through. So I'm one of those 726. All right, so brothers and sisters, I want you to follow me.
Thank you so
and
much.
Do what we do. All right,
that means
sign the petition. Sign it tonight.
Don't worry.
That
means
my beloved sister, you made a wonderful suggestion, and also Brother Paul wants to make a jingle so that all the radio stations can start playing it. He also suggested that those that was involved, that you must hold a press conference and officially release it to the media. So that the black media houses can now get it.
This is big things.
Because we're looking for not just for 15,000 according to the Prime Minister Office of Jamaica. We want to get 150,000 to show him how important it is to Jamaicans at home and abroad. And that's what I said before. The investment that is required is what we call peppercorn investment, because our environment is a natural environment. We have the land and we have the farmers already, right? There's a particular method that we've now introduced, which we call quality control.
Ras Ho-Shing,
have to mesh it.
My dear brother, just give us a minute. Sorry, but just give us a minute. We just want to open the lines. Go ahead, Shakara.
Give thanks, Brother Marley. 10 down, Warrior Kings and Queens. You're hearing it right now. We're asking the question: can ganja bring self-sufficiency to Jamaica? Can ganja bring self-sufficiency to Jamaica?
Yes, it can.
Have you signed the petition? Will the international
Yes, it
institutions
can.
such as the IMF, the UN, the USA try and prevent Jamaica from capitalizing on the ganja? Is ganja really safe enough to be legalized? Is it really too late, too little, too late for Jamaica's entry into legal ganja market? The number to call, Kings and Queens, the lines are open right now. 0207 193 0174.
Sign the petition.
Share your Sensimilia, Cushion Peng experiences, stories, legalization processes, Kings and Queens. 0207 193 0174. How can we in the diaspora contribute to ensuring that we have a worldwide Pan-African Cushion Peng industry?
Kushung Peng.
0207
Kushung Peng.
193 0174. You could text us throughout the show on 07 377 920 703. Have the Marley Estate undermine the potential of Jamaica's ganja industry? Was previous ganja I had to call group here. Was previous ganja legislation racist, serving the interests of the global powers? And Kings and Queens, what can our governments in Africa and the Caribbean do to invest in the ganja, Cushion Peng, Sensimilia agricultural industry? We have a caller on the line. Caller, what's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Ambush and I'm calling from Blackheath.
Greetings.
Did you say ambush?
Ambush.
Ambush.
Greetings, Ambush.
Greetings.
Greetings, brother Ambush.
Go ahead, brother Ambush.
Yeah, I'd like to know how much of the ganja is legal in Jamaica right now.
Huh.
Right, well, I'll direct that to Ras Ho-Shing. How much of the ganja is legal in Jamaica right now, Ras?
What we have is a decriminalization bill that has recently been passed.
Yeah.
That no one is no longer being arrested. No one can get a criminal record. A man can have legally 2 ounces on him.
2 ounces.
As for the Rastafarian community, they can grow as much ganja they want. As for every household is permitted to grow 5 plants for medicinal and personal use. So that is the decriminalization process that we currently have here in Jamaica. Right, which as you know.
What do we need?
Go ahead, my brother.
What someone need to grow an acre, which might contain 3,000, 4,000 plants? What a person need?
Well, as you know, to grow our particular ganja, the maximum is 1 acre. If you grow more than that, so all these people who saw thousands and thousands of acres, you're talking about industrial hemp. When we grow our ganja, this is why our ganja is got to be a community, communal industry that relies on our people, our little farmers, because we're going to need all the acres and half acres, 40 acres. Right? The only process that we brought in is that once the seed comes out of the nursery and planted, it must be meshed from top to bottom with a very fine mesh to stop certain pestilence from coming in onto the plant.
All right.
The other thing is, once it starts to mature and start to bud, when it rains, we are needed to be able to cover it.
Ras Ho-Shing.
Sorry, brother Ambush.
I've planted an acre or more than an acre already. I know how to plant it, but I'm asking you the legal process, the legal procedure for wanting to plant an acre now.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think Ras Ho-Shing, you probably want to talk about the cannabis licensing authority,
right?
Which is
that's what I want to know.
Under the Cannabis License Authority, if you go into your smartphone and put in Cannabis License Authority of Jamaica, you will see all the regulation that they brought in against the local Jamaican farmers. And as you know, we do not want to be associated with cannabis because our position is this. This plant is a natural plant. We're not only going to be growing ganja because all our brethren that grow this wonderful plant, they also grow other agricultural produce with it.
That's right.
Right? What we're saying is this clearly, that we don't need a license to grow which is naturally agriculture.
Born license.
When we bring this plant in for extraction, because what we want is to set up a plant. Then we can start talking about paying the government, because we're now going to be going into the commercial market.
Okay.
Right?
Ras Ambush?
So we don't want no license.
Brother Ambush,
at this present moment, you have no license and you don't want no license. What is the petition signing for then?
It's to set up a separate
is to make sure that
ganja.
the government of Jamaica recognizes that ganja is our indigenous culture. Ganja is what the world knows us for. And if anyone is going to regulate our industry, we are the one
Small
who's been
farmers.
growing it. So naturally, it should be we.
Yeah. Self-regulation.
Regulation,
Self-regulation.
We are the first country that brought a scientific research regarding the medicinal benefit of this wonderful plant. And it was smoking our ganja that the rest of the world realized about the medicinal benefit.
All right.
It was smoking the natural plant,
Can I quickly ask?
the organic one.
Can I quickly ask Brother Ambush? Brother Ambush, you signed the petition?
No, I'm not sign the petition.
Sign the
because
petition, man.
I want to get a sense of what I'm signing, because
All right.
if you want people to sign the petition and they only have to go that to sign it, 95% of the Rastaman in Jamaica, they don't go that.
No, the petition is for the petition is for I in England.
The diaspora. You
The
know,
diaspora.
to show our support.
Yeah,
That's why
this is our work.
If I want to sign it in Jamaica, then if I want to sign it in Jamaica, because I'm going to Jamaica in a few days, do I have to go to that, or someone will come to my community?
Yeah,
with all due respect,
it's the internet, so you can.
Brother Ambush, you can do it right now. You know?
Yeah, you can do it. I just
30
do it.
seconds. You know what I mean?
I just don't do it.
But Sister Shanice, I think you wanted to come in here and kind of just help to resolve our brother's issue.
Yes. What our brother is proposing is similar to a lot of proposals that I've been hearing of since we've launched the petition. And what it shows is that there is a lot of interest in our community in getting involved in this particular industry, in this sector. And I think, what this is actually generating, and from what our brother Ras Ho-Shing is saying as well about it being a community, spiritual way of growing ganja, is that there is the prospect for us here in the diaspora also to benefit from the creation of this ganja industry, new ganja licensing authority in Jamaica, because we, can provide the finance as a collective. We can come together collaboratively, and we can provide the finance that's needed in order, to get the licenses and to finance, to be able to pay for the requirements and fulfill the regulations that goes with actually growing the ganja. I mean, what we're saying as well, if you look at the cannabis licensing authority regulations, it's telling you that you need to have walls so high with fence on top and windows and doors and all these sorts of things. Basically, it's like creating a sort of greenhouse effect with wire mesh around it. And that's what it sounds like, improving the plant.
And Sister Shanice,
but what Ras Ho-Shing is saying and the small farmers are saying is that that's not how we grow ganja. That's not how it's supposed to be grown. Ganja for
and who are they to tell? Who are they to tell them?
But Sister Shanice, there's a quick thing, because I'm understanding as well that these regulations that are being imposed on Jamaican farmers are being imposed within the context of an economy that does not subsidize its agricultural industry.
Yes. Plus the controls and the conditions are coming from the West.
The West, yes. So
yes,
in
it's
effect,
been imposed.
Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're actually, through the Governor General and others, adopting their sluggish, reluctant attitude to fully endorsing the legalization of ganja beyond what Ras Ho-Shing has laid out there, because those are the signals and those are the messages, and that's the policy line that they are being told to follow.
Right.
So we was talking earlier about, the fact that Britain has been growing ganja for the last 30, 40 years or so, to the point now where, reports have been revealed to show that the UK is the largest cannabis producer
That's right. That's
in
right.
the world.
Cannabis. Yes.
So
The UK.
when they
Yes.
were burning
UK
the
is
ganja
number
fields
one.
in Jamaica, when they were burning down the ganja fields in Jamaica, they were establishing their own cannabis farms
UK
here
number
in
one.
the UK, and this hypocrisy
Canada number two.
still exists today. They're stopping and prohibiting. You know,
That's
they're
it.
refusing to give the green light to Jamaica
That's
to grow
it.
cannabis,
That's it, my sister.
while they're exploiting the market for themselves
Absolutely.
over here.
Can
So
I
we want to rid ourselves of that stranglehold as well.
Okay, I just want to quickly, Brother Shakira, I want to big up Brother Gebra, who is signed. If follow me, and he signed the petition. He sent me a text and he said done. Yes. So anybody else who's received a WhatsApp message from me, sign the thing. Sign the petition tonight. Sign it. Yes. Yeah, sign it.
For legalize. All right, Kings and Queens. 0207-193-0174. The lines are now open. That's the number to call. Ras Ambush. I hope your concerns have been at least somewhat addressed.
No, it's not fully addressed, you know.
All right, well, Ras Ambush.
Sign the petition, though.
Let me suggest something, Ras Ambush. Let me suggest something to you, Ras Ambush. Yeah, because we're not gonna. We do want to free up the line for other callers. Yeah, but what I suggest you do, is actually go to the petition and read it. Yes. Because
lots of information
is
and
there,
links
and links to other information, and some of your questions may be answered via that process.
Sign the petition, my brother.
Does that sound reasonable?
Oh, yeah, that's unreasonable. I will have a look at it and I will sign the petition.
All right, we'll
thank you so much.
Sign it, then read it.
Send us a text.
The Jamaican farmers and the young people in Jamaica who will be the beneficiary of the jobs that are created from this industry, they thank you. I thank you on their behalf, my brother.
Okay, everybody who anybody who call in now. Hold on there, my brother. Hold on there.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Oh, go through.
You can easily get 150,000 signature if some of these Rastaman that talking these days do the legwork round in Jamaica and get Rastaman to sign. You can easily get 150,000 signature. Easy. But they're keeping it on a high thing where they want to see their name above the door and keeping the down to earth farmer they talk about every day out of it.
Yes,
to be honest,
understand,
at least 500,000 Rasta in Jamaica. Who would ready to sign right now, but they're keeping them small man out of it. But they're still calling their name every day. Say we want small farmers, we want this and we want that. But they are keeping them out of it. Many things, not only the ganja smoking, ganja planting, and the legalizing of ganja, but many things. They call their name just like how many of the so-called young people them jump up and call Selassie name, Malcolm X name, Marcus Garvey name, just to make a money. And the same thing they're doing with the ganja thing. Okay. So that's all I'm saying. But I will have a look at the petition.
Please sign it tonight if you can, and text Galaxy if you do it after our show. Text SG Vibes. Let him know that you signed the petition.
Yes, I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Blessed love, my brother. Blessed love.
Right now we're passing the petition upon the left hand side. 0207-193-0174. That's 0207-193-0174.
Pass it over.
That is the number to call. You can text us all throughout the show at 07-377-920-703. We are asking the question: can ganja bring self-sufficiency to Jamaica? My brother Ho-Shing.
Yes, my beloved brother.
We have a question.
Ganja can definitely bring.
Give facts.
Health and wealth to
give facts, Ras Ho-Shing. That's not quite the question I'm asking right now. Yeah, we want to deal with a next thing, because our brother Ambush has raised an interesting point, and it was raised in our spec somewhat. And it's a controversial one. I will understand if you don't want to go too deeply into it, but it's regarding the Marley family. Yeah. And the extent to which they have kind of whether they're positively or negatively affecting the homegrown industry in Jamaica. And for those who may not be aware, this is an important question, because when the state of Colorado, I believe it was, in America, decided to legalize, not just decriminalize, but legalize what they call in cannabis, yes, The first Jamaicans to kind of do a deal with them was the Marley Estate. Yeah. And that was so the Marleys are already in the Colorado cannabis industry, and there was concerns around the time in relation to the extent to which that sets up for America to dominate the market or not. Yeah. So what is the extent to which the Marley Estate is positively or negatively affecting the organic Jamaican homegrown ganja industry?
Well, I can only speak on behalf of myself in that regard, but I know that many ancients who know Bob Marley himself, Robert Nesta Marley, right? They said that there's no way Bob would have gone and set up no industry on foreign land when he knows that Jamaica grows the best. So,
yes.
you know, it's unfortunate that the Marley Estate has decided to do that.
Right.
And it's very unfortunate for them because at the end of the day, the best ganja, the best plant of this medicinal variety is actually grown here in Jamaica. So what I would have expected the Marley to have done was to highlighten the injustices that we've been experiencing here, knowing that the fact that Colorado, the same America that is seen being so draconian and the laws here against Jamaica, you know, I would have appreciated that they had used that their presence in the media in a more positive reality concerning Jamaica.
Yes. Understood.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel it's like an abandonment of Jamaica, really, and another example of those who are supposed to be, you know, for our people, you know, in the wrong lane, looking after their own personal financial interest and not the interest of the people, you know, where that has given them the support and the backing to get them where they are. If anything, you know, I feel the Marleys should have brought the industry to Jamaica and made sure that the factories, etc., the cannabis or the factories that they're involved in was set up in Jamaica to create the jobs and opportunities for the young people in Jamaica. So, you know, it's another classic case of our people being in the wrong lane. Instead of looking after the interests of their own people for financial gains, you know, they're looking after the interests of others and leaving, you know, our people to suffer.
Word sound. Chakara,
0207.
Very disappointing move, as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, so we need to put the pressure on. We need to, you know, get the Prime Minister to look seriously at the economic potential of the ganja industry, you know, so that it can bring the economic, the finances into the country that the country so desperately needs. And, you know, to put all of our people here on red alert as well, because this is, ganja is an international industry.
Yes.
You know,
Big
so,
business.
you know, we can work closely with our brothers and sisters, you know, in Jamaica, and we can work with them from wherever we are in the world, you know, to be suppliers of the best Kali oil, you know, in the world.
Can I just say, big up, I want to big up the Henry family, big them all up, Sister Gail, Brother Owen, and the children. I'm sure everybody, the Gale family, have signed the petition.
All right.
So we big them up.
Kushung Peng.
Kushung Peng. If you have a start, you must have a what? You must have a what?
Have an N.
All right. If you have a paper, why not? All right.
And if you have a cushion, you must have a pen.
And 5 plus 5 must equal to what? All right.
So you call that 10, yes. Scene, come again. 0207-193-0174 Kings and Queens. 0207-193-0174 is the number to call. Can the ganja industry bring self-sufficiency to Jamaica, Kings and Queens? 07377-920-703 is the number to text in. Sister Shanice?
Yes.
We have another question here regarding a Caribbean-wide strategy. Yes, and our brother Ho-Shing just earlier was speaking to the difference between the male and the female. You know, so we can't have the female without the male. Yeah, in African tradition, it's the balance. Yeah. So to what extent is this viable? Yeah, and to what extent are you aware of other islands? We spoke about Antigua earlier, but other islands' viability in terms of forwarding this mission in concert with Jamaica.
Well, as you know,
go ahead, Sister Shanice. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, Ras Ho-Shing is probably better qualified to speak on this than me. But you know, this the cannabis can be grown anywhere in the world. If you're growing it here in the UK, you know, it most certainly can be grown on any Caribbean island and in Africa as well. But in terms of the male species, that's the hemp version that I've, you know, learned through Ras Ho-Shing, and that is the industrial version, the male side of the
All right.
the herb.
Well, I'm going to get Ras Ho-Shing to...
I think let Ras Ho-Shing, address it, because he'll be, you know, he's very knowledgeable on all of.
All right, I'm gonna get him to answer in 1 second. Just before that, well, let me ask you: are you aware? 'Cause I know you're kind of studying the Zimbabwe situation. Are you aware of the ancient being grown in Zimbabwe?
Right. Yes. They've actually made it legal now for companies to submit applications for licenses to actually grow what they're calling marijuana. So they've got a similar licensing process to actually grow it for medicinal and for recreational purposes. So people can actually go out there and start growing it, you know, right now. As Ras Ho-Shing was saying, though, he's pointing out that, you know, you need the mountainous terrain and the female seeds to actually grow the ganja itself, which is best grown in Jamaica. But, you know, for the flat terrain that Zimbabwe has, twice the size of the UK, and if England is able to grow, you know, how many tons is it? I mean, they're growing something like 90 tons, you know, a year, and bringing in, you know, almost $1 billion. Then Zimbabwe ought to be able to double that very easily
All right,
in terms of the land space that it has.
You've heard it here first, and if you want to know more about that, you have to join Sister Shanice in her Zimbabwe tour, taking place in October this year, Kings and Queens. You better get on that. We'll make sure that we get that information out to you before the end of the show. But you can go to Zimbabwe itself.
14 action-packed days.
And check out the viability of the Kushumpeng industry.
Yes,
Zimbabwe,
I must say we have brothers in Zimbabwe who are already saying they've got land and they're ready to start growing. The produce. So, you know, we've already got the petition has stimulated a very interesting discussion in a number of African countries, because I'm in their various WhatsApp groups. And they're saying, I've got 50 hectares of land, I've got 20 hectares of land, we can grow it here. Jamaica doesn't want to grow it, we can grow it. Tell the Jamaicans to come to Zimbabwe, tell the Jamaicans to come to Africa. Those are the messages that
Repatriate love.
Ras Ho-Shing, we're gonna come back to you with regards to the Caribbean situation, but we have a caller on the line, so we're going to take the caller first.
Is it 197?
Well, I think it was 128, but caller, you're live on Afrika Speaks about Kebalan. What's your name, where you're calling from, what's your contribution?
Yes, I Rastafari, Selassie, Ras I-Tech.
Ras I-Tech.
Ras I-Tech.
Good evening, Kings and Queens. Greetings. Just listening to the conversation, I got in late, so good evening. I just want to add my little piece to it, brothers and sisters.
Go ahead.
The idea of growing marijuana, ganja in Jamaica and having it exported all over the world is impossible. There's no way the authorities around the world will allow Jamaica to be independent in the ganja industry. What Jamaica needs to do, the strategy, is to ensure that we have our trade links, that Jamaica has trade links with Africa as an export of the ganja.
Ras I-Tech.
Yes, sir.
You just heard Sister Shanice speak to the affirmative and the possibilities of Zimbabwe. How does that sound to you?
Yes, brother. Zimbabwe is definitely a possibility, and things are happening all the time in Zimbabwe, in Malawi, in South Africa, in Lesotho. Ganja is being grown in Africa all the time.
Okay.
Most of it on the black market,
on the white market.
So we know,
the black market.
That economically we do not control the world's capital.
So how do you suggest that we tackle that problem? Sorry, 1 second, Ras Ho-Shing. Right, the 100. Are you there?
When I come here from Queens, coming in. Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, the 100, right. There appears to be a lot of noise in your background, yeah? I don't know if you're able to tone down that noise, but it's causing interference on the line. So please start to tone. Okay, that sounds a lot better. Right, go ahead, Ras High Tech. I was asking you, how do you propose that we solve this particular problem in terms of trade?
Well, we need to be underground. We need to do our own thing. We've got to remove the idea of working with Babylon.
Yeah.
And working to their system with their laws, their regulations, etc., their ships, their planes. We have to do it ourselves.
Okay.
We have to create our own markets.
Okay.
In our own way.
Get our own planes that are fueled by our own ganja.
Yeah, we've got to do everything by ourselves.
Can we
always looking to other countries to
all right, I'm going to let Ras Ho-Shing.
We have to encapsulate what is ours.
My brother,
our way.
My brother, let Ras Ho-Shing respond to your point. And then we've got a few other callers to bring in. Ras Ho-Shing, come in.
I've heard our brother caller. What I would like to say to him is that what was illegal in the world was the seed and the flower. Once it was oil, that is not illegal. We in Jamaica, we've already sent oil. My team has sent oil to the Cayman Islands because the Cayman Islands recently, last November, brought in a completely legalization of medicinal marijuana. Okay. And the person, Mr. Denny Warren, who's one of the pioneers of that process that brought the government of Cayman to that position, his wife was actually suffering from advanced cancer, and we were able to send the oil there via the Cayman Island Airways, because once any country is legally, and as I said, the oil was never illegal anyway. If you check your legal statute, the oil was never illegal. What was illegal was the seed and the flower. But the problem is, how do I get the oil if I can't have the seed and grow the flower?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Right.
So when our brother is talking about the market, our market is already globalized already because of our recreational users of our ganja. The world already knows that once we are extracting our oil and we've set up and its main brand, Jamaica, we have the same position as we currently have with our ganja, which we only getting 10% of the economical value.
Yes.
And if Jamaica has been enriched with only 10%, can you imagine when we start extract this oil?
Right.
Well, it's
gives
true.
us 100%.
Let's get another.
Well, yes.
We got another.
Give us Ras Ho-Shing, you know what I mean?
Caller.
We got the 100. The 100. The 100 was first, so we're gonna take the 100 first.
All right, 100 first, then Brother Paul. 100, come in. By the way, can we just check all the callers? Have you all signed the petition already, callers?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right, we'll give tax.
Good.
Right, 100. What's your name? Where you're calling from? And what's your contribution?
Greetings, my brothers and
Greetings.
sisters. My name is Sister Makeda. Greetings, Sister Shanice. Sister Makeda.
Greetings, sis. Yes, I recognize your voice. Irie.
Sister Makeda from the Ethiopian World Federation, incorporated in London.
Yes.
Bless you.
One of the contributors to the petition.
All
one of the
right.
organizations that, was involved.
Well, I was
in
waiting for a
formulation
ganja
of
woman
it.
to phone up the airways, you know, so give thanks, Sister Makeda.
Give thanks. What I wanted to say was to, one, acknowledge the contribution of the Ethiopian World Federation London local to this initiative.
Okay.
Because I don't think we were introduced at the beginning. And
I couldn't remember the name. I said. I think I said the World Federation. Sorry, my darling.
I think you said RNUK. Anyway,
well, good job you ring up.
Moving swiftly on.
Thanks for the correction, sis.
Yes. Thank you. And also to just congratulate Ras Ho-Shing, our brethren in Jamaica, and his team for bringing the initiative to us in London and to and helping to direct us as to how the petition should be created and that it should be pushed from the London side, because it would appear that the Jamaican government wouldn't more likely look more favourably on a petition that's coming from the UK. So I have to really big up Ras Ho-Shing and his team for bringing the petition forward, because as
the world knows, Ganja is something that Rastafari people use as their sacrament. It's very dear to us. So this initiative is very important to all Rastaman and women. And the next thing I would like to ask those listening is, if you haven't signed the petition, please sign it.
Sign it.
It's very, very
sign it. Please do.
I urge all people, black, white, whatever, everybody, to actually sign this petition, because it has the potential to elevate Jamaica and especially the small farmers and families and associated communities. You know, the knock-on effects in terms of the alleviation of poverty in Jamaica is going to be absolutely phenomenal. So for that reason alone, it is absolutely imperative that all concerned people sign that petition.
Sister Makeda, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
one of our previous callers, Brother Ambush, said that really and truly it should not be a task to get 100,000 signatures from the Rastafari, in Jamaica, right? And there's probably more Rastafari in England, in London as we speak. So how are we going to galvanize the Rastafari community around this agenda?
Well, you see, that's where great organizations like Galaxy come into play, like Ethiopian World Federation come into play. For ourselves, I can talk for what we're doing. We have a whole unity program where we're linking up with various black organizations, and this is one of the initiatives that we bring to the table that they can contribute to, that we're involved in, and we as black organizations in London and their associates in various countries can participate in. So we have a unity program where we've even, been dealing with all kinds of organizations, Tour Tribes, even Akibulan themselves, and all different organizations where we're trying to work together and unify the black community so that we can, our events, our petitions, and everything is amplified by us working together.
Give thanks, Sister Makeda. Right, Kings and Queens, Sister Makeda has brought the Empress Nyabingi energy to the show. We encourage more Empress Nyabingi energy, and by that I mean Oman callers, Kings and Queens, on 0207 193 0174. Calling all African queens. We are asking the question: can Ganja bring self-sufficiency to Jamaica and all related issues, Kings and Queens, we are dealing with on our show today? That's 0207 193 0174. One second, please, sister, my sister. We do have another caller on the line, so I do want to take that call out of respect for that call because they've been waiting for a while. And it's Brother Paul. Brother Paul, you're live on Afrika Speaks about Kebalan. What's your contribution for this evening's proceedings?
Yes, Ganja can bring uplifting to the Jamaicans there. It can make a massive change, not just in Jamaica, around the Caribbean, around the world. You know why I found in? I actually found in because the naysayer, the brother who says never. Please listen if he's listening, bruv. We don't deal with never. The true warrior spirit don't deal with never. We deal with can be, and it will be done, bruv. We don't deal with never. And to Ras Ho-Shing has that spirit of the warrior. I love him, brother. He has that real warrior spirit. And he has a formidable adversary. He has a formidable partner in Sister Shanice, because I know Sister Shanice don't do it never. She stands by her word. And with those two people, I know this thing would materialize. Them who I put my trust in. Both of them is warriors. So both respect to Brother Ho-Shing and to Sister Shanice.
Give thanks, bro.
Keep up the good work, and you don't let go of that fighting spirit. We don't deal with never.
Have you signed the petition, Brother Paul?
His name is Russ. Brother, cool,
I hear him,
Paul. You tell that Rasta call himself Ras. We don't deal with no never. We ain't a never people. We deal with must be, can be, and will be. Rastafari.
Rastafari. Give thanks to that.
Ras High Tech. Hold on, Brother Paul.
Just to say that we can't do it on our own. We can't do it without the support of ones like yourself and the entire community. So we really need the entire community to get behind all of us on this. And together, yes, let's all push the boat. I just want to throw out, we did mention the press. as well. You know, if we have members of the community who have any contacts in the media, in the black media, we do need to organise a day when we have a press release and we formally launch this to the press. It would be great if we got a few thousand signatures at least, or we do. So let's do what we can among ourselves.
Let me come back.
And then we're going to go.
Hold on, Ras Ho-Shing. I've got you.
Through the media, through the voice newspapers, etc.
Right.
Go ahead, brother Marley.
Russ, just before you come back, my brother, just want to say, brothers and sisters, on the subject of health, the Mariandina Research Foundation and Mama Africa Culture Shop is organizing part 2 of the step-by-step guide to the eradication of cancer naturally. That's taking place on the 7th of June, this coming Thursday. We're going to have Brother Stephen Tamale Sali, the son of the great Professor Sali from the Mariandina Research Foundation. We're going to have cancer care packs available. We're going to have lots of advice for the family and for the community. Brothers and sisters, this is more than just a one-off health seminar. The objective is institution building. We want to have our place for our health practitioners to do their work independently and together, so they can share their ideas, so we can heal ourselves, and we don't have to worry with the hospital now, the doctor, or anybody like that. Yes, so this is the ultimate goal, and we're not just dealing with health. We're dealing with relationship. We're dealing with the whole ambit of what we call health, spiritual health, holistic health. And we also want to big up Brother Kensu Imhotep as well, student of the great Laila Africa. So brothers and sisters, please make your way down to Mama Africa Culture Shop, 282 High Road, Leighton E 10, 5PW for those of you on the sat-nav. Make your way to Mama Africa, brothers and sisters. We're talking about the healing of the nation, and the health seminar is one of the ways to heal ourselves. Brother Tamale Stephen Sali of the Mariandina Research Foundation is going to be there ministering to us, brothers and sisters. Tell them, Shakara.
Russ High-Tech, I'm going to give you a brief right of reply.
Yes,
we're inside the last 10 minutes.
Yes,
okay? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Give thanks to the brother asking I to clarify himself still. When I meant never, it's never to do the way of the white man, never to do the way of the Babylon. We have to do things in our own way.
Yes.
In our own spirit, in our own life.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
With our own understanding. Not never as in never it's not going to work, but never as in doing it in a white man's way.
Okay.
We need to do it in our own way, in our own understanding, for ones on ones. So give thanks for the airtime here.
Give thanks, Ras High-Tech.
Give thanks, Ras High-Tech, for your input.
Give thanks.
One love, my brother.
Right, we're going to be. We've got 10 minutes left in the show, Kings and Queens, so we're going to be closing the lines now. Okay, so if we get a call in the next 30 seconds, I may take it. All right, but outside of that, we're going to close the lines. Sister Makeda, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
I'll give you a last word, my sister, if you would like one.
Well, I just wanted to say one thing. There are people out there who can't do online petitions, can't access the internet, don't have any experience, especially our elder folk. So what we're suggesting is that they could come to a venue where we can do it on their behalf if they wish. We don't want to put people off from signing the petition just because they don't have the skills to be able to turn on a computer and go on a website. So,
my sis, will you be at the Parents and Ancestors Day this coming Saturday?
I won't be. No, I wasn't there.
No, it's coming up. It's coming up.
Oh, that's coming up.
That's a possibility.
It's coming up, sis.
Yeah, because that would be a good opportunity for you to follow through what you're suggesting, to have a laptop there, and then anyone who doesn't actually have an account, an email account, could set up an email on that day just to sign the petition.
We can help.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Separately to that, we will be setting up a desk at the Black Cultural Archive.
Brilliant.
Where people come down and sign the petition.
Good stuff.
Brilliant.
Powerful stuff, Kings and Queens. So go down to the Black. Go ahead, sis.
And we'll get that out there.
What's the petition numbers now, sis? What's the petition numbers?
Oh, we're up to 742 now. So, you know, we've crept up from just over 700. It was just 700. So, just under 50
that's a couple hundred during our show alone. So we give thanks.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
You know what I mean? All right, give thanks, Sister Makeda.
Keep it moving, brothers and sisters. Keep it moving. Come on, sign the petition. Sign it.
Rastafari.
Yes, we need another 50. We want to come away with at least 100 during this show.
Come on,
so you got 5 minutes to get 50
on.
more. In Kings and Queens. Okay, right. The lines are now closed, Kings and Queens. So please refrain from calling in from here on in. About listening and tuning in, because we're gonna wrap up with our guest, nice and easy. Right, we're gonna get some closing words. Just before that, I get a question to both our guests. Now, just because and this is in relation to the fact that we just announced our health seminars. It occurs to me that awareness raising in terms of the usages and applications of the good herb. For our people in general might be a requirement, in the sense of the fact that many of our people are not aware of the health benefits or the industrial benefits of the plant. So to what extent do we need to organize forums for education to raise awareness about the cushion pain?
Well, my beloved brother, we are currently making that awareness here in Jamaica. We are starting to let them know of the difference and what we have here, that it must be protected, obviously, right? So obviously it is needed because our people, because of the draconian attitude of those that wanted to bring in the pharmaceutical industry, those who wanted to bring in the alternative industry, the plastics and all these things, which, as you know, the earth is suffering because of all these alternative and natural. With this one plant, we can cover every industrial that you can imagine. With this one plant, we can cover every health, right, that is affecting the human being with this one plant. That is how important is this plant.
Okay, give thanks, Ras Ho-Shing.
And if anyone is in any doubt as to, you know, the health benefits of this particular plant, if they have access to the internet, if they just Google Todd, T-O-D, Milkura, M-I-K-U-R-I-Y-A, or just Google Dr. Todd's list. He's got a list of over 200 chronic conditions that can be treated with cannabis.
Okay.
And it includes, you know, major serious chronic conditions such as AIDS, prostate cancer, skin cancer, polio syndrome, radiation therapy, chemotherapy. You know, it's got a whole list of over 200 chronic diseases that can be treated with cancer. That's for those who've got any doubt whatsoever about the health benefits of cannabis.
Give thanks, Sister Shanice. And I look forward to the day, you know, where we can host workshops on the growing and various different applications of the herb, whether it be the paper, whether it be the rope, whether it be the clothes, kings and queens. We need to teach our people these trades also. Right. Closing words time. I'll start with Sister Shanice. I will give you a minute for your closing word, my sister.
Just closing by firstly thanking everybody who has taken the time to sign the petition during the show. Those who maybe are driving, haven't got the chance to do so, but will be doing so tonight. We want to thank you very much in advance. Once you've actually signed, please share the petition and encourage all your family and friends to sign. Don't just share once, share 2-3 times, because sometimes people get so much in their inboxes they don't get round to signing. So please re-sign. And in terms of the workshop, yes, hopefully at some point as well we'll be able to talk about the economic benefits that we as a people can actually get involved in, you know, the business opportunities that will exist for us as a people as well to participate in this hugely profitable industry. And thank you, Al Cable and
our pleasure,
team,
for
the opportunity to promote this. Thank you.
Ras Ho-Shing, a minute for your closing words, my brother.
Well, as I would like to further announce that, I would like to thank the Up Cable and team for this wonderful broadcast, the opportunity. And as we know, unity of strength. His Majesty says, let us put away our pettiness. Let us find the common goal that is common to all of us. We know that this industry is common to all our people, all our children, because the children benefit, right? So therefore, I want to, you know, give a wonderful blessing to the African family. Let us unite. The 1st of August, as we said, let us send a message to the rest of the nations of the world that we are Africans at home and abroad.
Yeah.
And we are the same Africans that they enslaved for 500 years. We have survived the most evil atrocities, the most wicked of sins. We are still here, and within us, our children, we have some great incarnated intellectual minds that are coming up with some scientific realities, which is all organically, all mother-friendly to Mother Earth. So we give thanks and praise to the wonderful African family.
Bless you, my brother.
Give thanks to Ras Ho-Shing. Give thanks to Sister Shanice for joining us on our show
thanks, my brother.
this evening, Kings and Queens.
Thanks, family.
We give thanks to our treasured listeners, silent listeners, texters, and all of our callers. You have anything to say in closing, Brother Omwale?
My brother, I just want to give thanks and praises to Mwari Nyakusika, God the creator of the universe, through the spirits of Mzumukuru, our great ancestors. Rumbitsukuna Mwari Africa. To the God of Africa be the glory.
Yes, indeed, Kings and Queens. This has been Afrika Speaks with our Kebalan. We have been asking and answering the question, can ganja bring self-sufficiency to Jamaica? We will end just by asking you once again to go to change.org and search for Jamaica Ganja petition, Kings and Queens, and sign that petition. And not only sign it, Kings and Queens, but share it with somebody else
WhatsApp,
so that they can
Facebook,
sign it too, Kings and Queens. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
It.
Tune in next week as we continue to talk it straight and make it plain. Round here we say, Tendai Mwari.
Tendai Mwari.
Life over death, police start threat and them no hear no to yet. That's what you want in a life. You surely going get. Me need a boom drum, me go check Lally de la fini sensi me, yeah. Give me a voice, yeah. Blessing my child, taking me, yeah. Sensi me, yeah. Give me a
Tendai Kings and Queens. Next coming up, it's the great man himself, SG Vibes. Brothers and sisters, please sign that petition. SG Vibes is going to be encouraging you to sign that petition. Tendai Mwari.